Today's second video for you is first news story is about a press briefing by Ethiopian PM Office Bilinesiom. Ethiopian PM Office spokesperson held a press briefing. She took questions as well, and she spoke in detail about humanitarian aid to Tigray, about peace process, talks with Tigray, People Liberation Front, Welega massacre, Ethiopia, Sudan, border fighting. We'll have a detailed look, and Eritrea, Ethiopia relations too. We'll have a detailed look at this press briefing of Ethiopian PM office. Second news story is from Afar region. Ethiopian Human Rights Commission visited camps where Tigrayans are being kept. We know that in Afar region, at least two camps, thousands of Tigrayans are in detention. Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia, led by Daniel Bakele, was given access to these refugee camps or Tigrayan camps, IDPs camps. What is Ethiopian Rights Commission saying about these camps? How many Tigrayans are there? Which sort of living conditions were witnessed by Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia there? Thirdly, viewers, we have a few pictures for you. Pictures of under-training Ethiopian youth. I'll speak in detail when I show you these pictures. Fourthly, we have updates about some new arrests and releases of journalists, politicians who have been criticizing Ethiopian government, Amhara regional government. Some have been arrested and some released. One was granted bail today, but immediately after he was out of prison, he was again arrested. Fifthly, Amhara regional government today spoke about law enforcement operation, which was basically operation against armed groups, Fano, others in the Amhara region. What is Amhara government's position about this operation? And lastly, in Bahir Dar, Bajaj has been banned. Bajaj vehicles have been banned. Three-wheeled vehicles have been banned from operating in Bahir Dar. Curfew has been imposed at 8 p.m. local time. The curfew will start. Why is that this vehicle widely used by locals for city transport has been banned? Is it linked to student demonstrations? It seems. We'll have a detailed look at this curfew as well. Firstly, viewers, first news story is about Ethiopian PM office's press briefing held today. Bilinesiom, the lady who is known for evading questions, held this briefing. No matter what you ask, she knows how to evade questions. And we see at every briefing that most of the questions go unanswered. That is her way of conducting these press briefings. What did she say? Which topics were addressed by Bilinesiom? Firstly, Welega massacre. Today, government shared official numbers. How many were killed there in Welega? Who were they? Were they ethnic Amharas, Oromos, Gumas? Bilinesiom shared details. She said, according to what government has received, according to Oromia regional government's reports, so far 338 deaths have been confirmed in Welega, Gimbi, Tole. While it was being claimed that thousands have been massacred, government is saying the number stands at 338. Who were the victims? She says victims were ethnic Amharas, Oromos and Gumas. So, victims from 3 ethnic groups. No mention of their religious affiliation. Were they Muslims, non-Muslims, Christians? No details about that. She squarely blamed Oromo Liberation Army, that OLF Shene terrorist, quote unquote, were behind this massacre. Secondly, she claimed that OLF is backed by external forces which have been working to destabilize Ethiopia for years. She indirectly accused TPLF as well. She said that Oromos and Amharas jointly struggled to remove TPLF-led EPRDF government, and now an attempt is being made to create conflicts, divisions between Oromos and Amharas. So indirectly she accused TPLF as well. And she then said that operation is ongoing and security forces have made gains in the operation against OLF Shene. Secondly, she spoke about Mekelle airport closure. In a video a few days ago, we reported Tigray government confirmed that it closed Mekelle airport. Tigray government says the airport was closed due to shortage of fuel. Bilinesiom today made it clear that UN aid flights, UN aid planes which are landing in Mekelle carrying aid, they are facing no fuel shortage. She said 3 planes are being used by WFP, and all these 3 planes are fueled in Addis Ababa. Complete fuel for their return trip is provided to them at Addis Ababa. There is no fuel shortage for planes which land at the airport. But what we said in a video when we shared the news story about closure of Mekelle airport, the closure was due to lack of fuel for airport operations. Tigray government does not have fuel to run the facilities, the airport building, control tower, other buildings at the airport. That is why Tigray government closed the airport. Now, she did not provide any details about is Tigray government being provided with fuel or not to run airport facilities. She did not make it clear. She only said that flights leaving Mekelle airport, landing at Mekelle airport, 8 flights, they are facing no fuel shortage. Thirdly, she spoke about delivery of fuel to Tigray. She said that almost a week ago, around 159,000 liters, 159,000 liters of fuel were supplied to Tigray, and more than 20,000 metric ton also arrived in Mekelle more than a week ago. More than 400 trucks arrived around a week ago, and all have not returned. More than 100 have not returned so far. Yes, delivery of aid to Tigray is picking up pace. We know that now more aid convoys are entering Tigray. Thirdly, she reiterated Ethiopian government's position about talks, that talks will be held under the auspices of African Union. A journalist asked a question about Tigray's position that talks should be led by President of Kenya, and Ethiopian government wants African Union to be leading the talks. She said that Kenyan position is the same, that African Union should play a leading role. So it seems that there is no real difference in Tigray and Ethiopian government's positions about who will lead the talks. Means talks will be held in Nairobi, Kenya, with AU, African Union, UN, US, other parties being part of the talks. She did not say anything about Tigray's position that Kenya should lead these talks. Then she spoke about Ethiopia-Sudan border tensions. She repeated Ethiopian government's position that no ENDF was deployed where clashes happened. Clashes happened within Ethiopian territory. But she said that Ethiopian government was trying to resolve the issue diplomatically. Though a question was asked, was there any mechanism formed or put in place to resolve the issue diplomatically? She evaded this question. She responded to a question about Ethiopia-Eritrea relations. A journalist said that around 3 years ago, Ethiopia and Eritrea normalized ties. But economic projects which were announced could not be completed. Why is that economic cooperation is not picking up pace? Again, she said that Ethiopia relations started from 0 point, there was stalemate, and now the two countries have friendly ties, and economic projects are also, work on economic projects is also underway. So she did not say anything about rumors that Eritrea-Ethiopia relations are not very friendly these days. Overall, we can sum up that she showed government's openness, willingness to talk with TPLF. Talks will start in coming days, but operation against OLA, against Fano will continue. No mention of any talks with Oromo Liberation Army in Blinesiom's press briefing. Secondly, our second news story is from Afar region of Ethiopia, where there are refugee camps, IDP camps, housing thousands of Tigrayans. Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia, led by Daniel Bakele, was given access to these refugee camps, two camps. Samara refugee camp and second one is Agatina refugee camp. Both are in Afar IDP camps. There are around 9,000 Tigrayans at these two camps. Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia visited the camps, interviewed Tigrayans detained there, and the commission confirmed that the Tigrayans kept there are being kept unconstitutionally, illegally. Detention is illegal. Secondly, the commission says that epidemics are spreading, medical care is not as good as it should be, food aid is limited, there are restrictions on movement of IDPs. So overall, Tigrayans at the two camps are suffering. Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia today urged Ethiopian government to release these Tigrayans, either to release them or to start legal proceedings against them. According to authorities at the refugee camps, they said that the Tigrayans were being kept at the camps for their own security, and secondly, some of them were suspected of being involved in crimes or they could commit crimes. Human Rights Commission says that if they are involved in crimes, then proper legal proceedings under criminal law should start. Otherwise, these Tigrayans are being held unconstitutionally, illegally, and they should be released immediately. Let's see. Now, an Ethiopian body which claims to be independent is demanding the release of these Tigrayans. Will they be released? I think they'll be released in coming days. Talks are about to start. Before the start of talks, we could see release of Tigrayans. We could see resumption of some services in Tigray like banking service or like telecommunication service. Thirdly, viewers, third news story is basically three pictures. I have three pictures for you. First, have a look at the pictures. Then we'll talk about this picture. Firstly, this first picture is from Western Oromia. This picture shows newly recruited OLA members. Oromo Liberation Army is recruiting Oromo youth is being recruited, and in western southern Oromia, recruitment drive is underway. Now, second picture. Second picture is from the Afar region of Ethiopia. Afar region is raising a militia as well. Though people of Afar are generally armed, civilians, they are armed. And there is a Afar regional force as well, Afar special force too. Now militias are being raised in the Afar region. These pictures show newly trained militia members from Afar region. Thirdly, a government training school, Harso contingent training school today passed out today, held graduation ceremony of some soldiers will be deployed to peacekeeping missions abroad. Now the purpose of showing you these pictures is that this is the future of Ethiopian youth. The youth will be recruited by government forces or by armed groups or by militias. The government, regional governments, federal government should create job opportunities for the youth to help them work in IT sector, in services sector, in manufacturing sector, in research, in educational activities. On the other hand, we're seeing that all regions, militias, armed groups are recruiting. Tigray is no exception, viewers. Tigray has also recruited large number of youth. That is what is happening. That is why I say that you need to resolve conflicts first. If you don't resolve conflicts, regions, groups, the federal government, all will have to raise armies, militias. And these employed youth, they'll become a burden on Ethiopian economy. People would say that every country has a right to raise an army. Problem is that in Ethiopia there is not one army. There is Ethiopian National Defense Force, Federal Police, regional forces, special forces, militias. There are scores of armed groups, militias, forces in Ethiopia. Ethiopian youth deserves better than being part of these forces and militias and armed groups. But these three pictures show the trend in Ethiopia these days and the opportunities available to Ethiopian youth. Fourthly, viewers, arrests, releases are underway in the Amhara region. Firstly, Sintaye Chikol, Baldira's party leader, was granted bail today for 30,000 Ethiopian birds. He was arrested more than a month ago. He was very vocal against Ethiopian federal government, Amhara regional government, but he was arrested more than a month ago. Today he was granted bail by a court. 3 other Baldira's party members were granted bail too. Immediately after Sintaye Chikol stepped out of prison in Bahir Dar, he was again arrested or abducted, whatever you say. Reportedly, federal police was deployed outside Bahir Dar prison where Baldira's party leader Sintaye Chikol was released. And when he was out of the prison, immediately some vehicles, some officials surrounded him and they abducted him. Secondly, Tadio Stanto is at last out of prison for 10,000 Ethiopian birds. Historian known for being critical of some ethnic groups, supporter of some ethnic groups. Old man, I think he would be over 70. He has been released today. Reportedly, a court ordered his release today. Has he been released? That's not clear, but he was granted bail today. Thirdly, another journalist was arrested today. His name is Ababe Bayo. Ababe Bayo worked for Ethio Forum. Last year he was arrested, but then he was released. And once again today, Ababe Bayo was arrested, Ethioforum journalist. The other Ethioforum journalist, Yasio Shimalis, was arrested as well 2 days ago. And it was second arrest of Yasio Shimalis. So both Yasio Shimalis and Ababe Bayo, Ethioforum YouTube channel journalists, are now in detention. Both are missing. So campaign of arrest releases is underway, especially in the Amhara region of Ethiopia. Lastly, viewers, Bahir Dar city government has banned Bajaj three-wheeler vehicles widely used for city travel starting from 8 p.m. local time today. The curfew will come into force. Vehicle owners have been told that Bajaj is not allowed in Bahir Dar city. This ban was imposed after demonstrations which we saw in Bahir Dar. 2 days ago, Bahir Dar police chief claimed that some grenades were thrown at 4 places in Bahir Dar. Bomb explosions were reported. After that, Bahir Dar police, federal police officials launched a search operation. Houses were searched and several Fano members, Fano commanders in Bahir Dar were arrested. So overall, peace and security situation in Bahir Dar is not very satisfactory. That is why government is trying to restrict the movement of vehicles. Since Bajaj is very widely used, that is why this vehicle has been banned in Bahir Dar city. The Amhara regional government once again today defended law enforcement operation ongoing in the region. Gezacho Molone spoke on behalf of the region. A statement was also released by the regional government. Amhara region said that this law enforcement operation will create internal unity in the region. TPLF is making preparations for a new phase of war, and to confront TPLF there must be internal unity in the Amhara region. That is why this operation will continue. Now question is, the operation was launched more than a month ago. Has it led to internal unity in Amhara region? What we are seeing is the students are protesting, professional union protesting, journalists speaking against the government, politicians speaking as well, Amhara diaspora holding rallies abroad. So what sort of internal unity has been created by this law enforcement operation so far? It's difficult for me to understand the reason behind this operation. Fano commanders could have been engaged through talk, through dialogue, to make these groups, Fano factions, part of regional security apparatus. Instead, federal government, regional government used force, and this operation has not led to any unity in the Amhara region. Instead, we are seeing splits, divisions in the Amhara region of Ethiopia, but regional government says that operation is working and region is more united now. Thank you for watching.